Hi YouTube, it's Emma10 and this video is dedicated to any duelists who are recently returning into Yu-Gi-Oh! Or any of the duelists who have sent me messages about getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And about dueling on Duel Network and stuff like that, so I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, over the past month or so I've had about 6 or 7 people send me messages about how to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And asking me about how the game's changed and everything. Now, I can't say anything for definite, but there are many reasons why people want to return to Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, some are on hiatus for a good reason. For example, maybe they've been starting a family or something. Others maybe stopped playing the game because it was getting too competitive, they didn't like it then, and then something new comes along and they really liked it and it got them back into the game. Or some people just, you can fall in and out of trends and everything, and that can happen to some people as well. So that's another reason why people might want to come back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And everything. If you are getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! The best advice I can give you literally is, if you're not too sure about it, Google it. I know that's a typical response, but that's why these search engines were invented, so you can Google and find out your answers that way. And also look to the more specific Yu-Gi-Oh! Sites that can actually give you the actual rulings and card info and that, such as yugiohcard.com and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki to some extent as well. Even other places like kojo.com and the Shriek site, which is for the OCG, but it can also give you an idea of what can happen in the TCG as well. So that would be my first bit of advice, is if you're getting back into it, brush up on your information. Even ask people. I mean, I don't mind being asked questions and all that, but I normally redirect them to these sort of sites. But if you know like any local judges or anybody who is a judge, then don't be afraid to ask them as well about cards and that, and they can tell you to the best of their ability about how the thing's going and how the game's changed and everything. So so if you get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! First thing is go and brush up on your info and everything. I mean, that's the best way to get it, so you can understand the game and understand how it's changed, understand new mechanics and everything. And then of course, and some people have also been asking me, well, I want to get back into the game, but I want to stay old school style. Now, there's nothing wrong with staying old school style. You don't have to go with the flow, as some people would call it. I mean, if you think some cards from the newer packs are going to help you, then fine, fair enough, use them to whatever ability you want to use them. But if you want to stick to like real old school style, then there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody deter you from doing things your way. I mean, that's what makes a person, if you do things your way and in your own style, instead of like being a, for a better term, sheep follower and go with the flow and everything. Just stick with what you believe in and stick with what you're comfortable with, and eventually if you want to try something new, I mean, go for it and attempt to try, and if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. I mean, that's how it goes. The other thing is, as well, if you decide to stick old school and not use like all the new synchros or exceeds or whatever other cards that are coming out, my advice would still brush up on the information about them, so that if they're used against you in a duel, you will have some inkling of what to do or how to get around it, or at least know what they do, so you're not too surprised by anything that might come out. For example, like first time I went up against a Brionac, I got quite a bit of a shock with it, I have to admit. But now that I know about Brionac and everything, I can get around it if I need to, and it's not that difficult now anymore. So that would be my advice, is just keep reading up information about cards and all that. Ask, Google it, wiki it, whatever, and and just, even if you don't decide not to use any of those cards, and that, still learn about them so you know what's coming if it happens to you in a duel. And the final little topic is having people to physically duel instead of Skype and Duel Network and everything. Now, one person in particular who's asked me, and that is Super Saiyan 2 Nahum Kai. Now, he recently became a friend with me on my channel, and he was asking me about, you know, how do you get out of the physical loneliness of not dueling somebody in person. Now, I've been there, as you know, before the Edinburgh tournament started. I literally, all I had to do was literally Skype and Duel Network, and of course my little sister Heavenly Guinea Pig as well. Yes, she's a physical person to actually duel, but it wasn't the same as dueling in tournaments and everything. Now, it can get very lonely, you know, not having anybody physically to duel, and I've been there, and it is hard. I mean, I really missed, I keep saying this, I really missed the tournaments down at Magical Miniatures, and the tournaments in Scotland were really sparse until the Edinburgh one started, which I'm really grateful for, and I will be going to the next tournament, so expect videos of that soon. But the thing is, if you haven't got anybody physically, the next best thing to do is to go out there and find a place to physically duel. Because I know it can be frustrating on Skype and Duel Network, because yes, you've got many people to duel on there, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with dueling the same people over time. I mean, I enjoy dueling the members of the KCP and that all over Skype over time, because obviously they've got many decks, and it's always fun to record and duel and everything, and it's literally the only way for me to duel these guys, because I can't duel them physically and everything. But Duel Network, yes, it's not like Skype, you know, you type things out and you can't actually message them or anything. And but Duel Network's a good place to practice in my opinion. To me, it's more of a practice site to test ideas out instead of physically dueling on there all the time, because as I said in another Duel Network message a wee while ago, sometimes the things that happen on there don't happen in real life, and you can get a misconception of how the deck works and that, for example, because I mean, that happened with a Blue Eyes deck. I mean, I put 2 Shrink in there, tested it on Duel Network, worked fine, tested it out in the physical world, it did not work as well as I hoped it would. But anyway, getting off track here, sorry. And the best thing I can suggest is just look physically for somewhere to duel, because I was actually considering going to Glasgow, and that's quite a bit of a distance away, going to Glasgow just to duel physically in the tournaments that were there. But now I don't have to, thankfully. But I mean, still use Skype and Duel Network as a good means, because I mean, even if you duel the same people over and over again, it never gets tiresome, in honest truth, because you know, if they build different decks and you've got different decks to test and everything, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I know it's not the same as being physical in that sense, but I can understand where you're coming from. It can get lonely, but nothing's going to happen if you sit on your backside and don't do anything about it. So that would be my advice, is try and get out there, find somewhere to go and duel there, and you know, still keep with Skype and Duel Network. There's nothing wrong with using them. It's only the people on the other end, if they cause an attitude problem, then that's when you can probably complain about it or whatever. But anyway, I hope that clears everything up, so you guys can understand, you know, what to do if you get back into Yu-Gi-Oh, and what it's like to physically duel people and Skype and everything. So you take care, guys, and I'll see you in whatever video decides to come next. Hopefully it'll be some duel videos, but no promises, depending. So take care, guys, see you later. Bye!